Hey, what's up, Lauren? This is a demo video for you for your Punk Sabers and CC Sabers Ventress Sabers. This is going to be a little bit of a different sort of a demo. Usually I do them right here in front of the camera, but there is a lot involved with these guys. So we're going to go and kind of hover over my desk while I explain them. So here we go. Hey, what's up, Lauren? I wanted to do it like this because there are a lot of things going on with these two sabers, right? They're identical, of course. Barely installable, but they are installable, obviously. But I wanted to go over all the screws and whatnot that you'll have to do. Starting off, each of these get a screw right here. I went ahead and I left them out for the demo. The one right here, and then I've got the other one right here. You will need to take those out. All right, there's 3 screws in this pummel that you're gonna need to take off every time you want to turn on this saber. So first you'll take that small one out, which goes right here, right? And then you'll flip it over here and you'll see these right here. You're going to want to take these out. I'm using my own Allen set, but there is a set that comes with your kit, and you sent it as well, so I'll be sending it back. As a matter of fact, I never even took them out of the bag, so they're right here, and they'll be going out with your kit. All right, so we're going to want to take these 2 long ones out. We're going to go over the one saber in depth, and then we'll go over and we'll turn on the second saber. I won't go as in depth because it's the same exact setup. All right. However, I do want to show you that both of them work. So we'll take these 2 long ones out. So we've got the 2 long ones and the short one. We'll pull the pummel off. You'll notice that the speaker pod is in the pummel. What you'll want to do is go ahead and pull that out. All right. You want to pull that out because let's get it out. It is a tight fit. And you'll want to put the speaker pod in first and then the pummel, and I'll show you why. But we'll put that off to the side. This is your speaker pod. This is very unorthodox because it's at an angle. It's using the stock pogo pin and PCB connector. So you got that there. Turn it over, and they both have Smuggler's Outpost 22mm Nano Elite speakers, fully enclosed. All right, so these sound pretty good. For the time being, each of these sabers has one sound font, and that's my font. There's a copy of the config file that I use on the SD card, so if you want to build from that, you can, but we're just running one font for now. All right, so we'll put the speaker pod off to the side, and then when you open it up, this is what you've got. And hopefully you can see that in the light. Maybe a little bit hard to see, but on the very top, you've got SD card and USB access. All right, so you can take your SD card out with a pair of tweezers. You can get a micro SD cable in there for programming. You're good to go. In the middle here is your stock pogo pins. So here and here. This is a 1.3mm recharge port. All right, so let me get my recharge port over my charger real quick. This is a normal one that you'd get from the custom saber shop. I can show you. You can zoom in on that. That is the one you'll need. Don't use a different one, please. You need this one. That is for the battery, the particular battery that's in the saber. All right, but when you buy this charger, it has, I think this is a 2.1mm recharge port. This is for like a normal recharge port, something like, something like this, where we just plug in there. That's how you charge your saber. This is the same idea. It's just smaller, so you need this adapter. They also sell this on the custom saber shop. All right, this is a 1.3mm adapter. It plugs right in and allows you to plug into this recharge port right here. And then right over here, you have a kill switch. All right, so instead of putting a kill key inside of the recharge port, I opted to put a kill switch in here. You'd have to open it up either way to get to them. I just thought it was a little bit cleaner, plus I didn't have any room with the speaker pod. So we'll want to flip this up. On both of these, when you flip them up, it's on. And then when you flip them down like it is right now, it's off. Both of them have CC Sabers V4 Neopixel connectors in there. So I know that's hard to see right now, but they have lots of LEDs on them. We'll light those up. So we'll just come over here and we'll flip our kill key or our kill switch on. Now it's on. You're not going to hear any sound, obviously, because we don't have the speaker hooked up. But if I were to come over here and hit power, which is going to be the silver one, on both of them, your front switch or your silver switch is your power, and the back black switch is your auxiliary. So if I hit power, now you can see, you know, all of your LEDs lighting up. This is a red unstable blade, so that's why that's looking like that. All right, and then we can hit power again to turn it off. Just tap it, and it turns it off. Now, when putting this back on, you first want to take the speaker pod and put it on. You'll notice I have these little squares that I put. These two, I got a rectangle on this side, a rectangle on this side, and a square on the top and a square on the bottom. That's just to help it fit into the pommel, and it's also for a little visualization, because as you'll notice, this is slanted, right? And so is your chassis inside of the Saber, if you can see that. All right, so you have to line that up properly. When you plug this in, you'll notice how I've got this square on the speaker pod lined up with this little nub right here, and this is where that small screw goes in, where I left out in the very beginning. All right, that's lined up with this guy, and it plugs in and it goes like that. So if we turn it on now, we've got sound, right? So now we'll take our pommel, and you can see that little cutout on the inside there, right? That cutout lines up with that nub, right? And these two holes down here, of course, line up with these two threaded holes right here. So you want to take the side that lines up with the nub, slide it on. And it's going to be a tight fit. It's meant to be a tight fit, but you'll get it on there. We'll come over here and we'll put our two screws in. Put 1, 2, lock it down. All right, we'll lock these down. Now again, I'm going to leave the smaller screws off. They're not really necessary to show you that the Saber functions properly. I don't think they're completely necessary if you're going to run them as single Sabers, but if you're going to use the two attachments to make this a full staff, which are again inside of your kit here, I believe. Actually, I don't see them inside of your kit. So which means you didn't send them to me, but they are just rectangular pieces of aluminum that hook onto this. If you're going to use it as a staff, I would definitely put that third screw in. All right, but once we tighten these two down, we can come over here and hit power. And we got power here. Yeah, smooth swing, auxiliary back here. And you have twist off. But when you use twist off, if you're going to use it, the board is parallel right here. This is a curved hilt. All right, so if you try to hold it like this, right, where the emitter is horizontal, and you try to use twist off, it's not going to work. You have to make sure the back of the handle is horizontal, right? So again, if I try to do it here, it's not working. But if I make the back of the handle horizontal, works every time. This takes a 7/8 inch blade. This is your blade retention screw. I'm not going to tighten it down for now, but I will put a 7/8 blade in it. All right, this is my sweet test blade with a bunch of markings on it, but it works. All right, so we'll put that in. Normally you'd put that in, lock down your blade retention screw, turn it on. So right from the tip all the way to the emitter, we're good to go. And that's what we've got there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna break this back down, because when you're not using the Saber, you're gonna have to flip the kill switch. All right, so we're gonna take these long screws back out. Let's give them a few twists. You'll feel it come loose. You can pull these right out. When you take the pommel out, the speaker pod will be in it. That's okay. I'm going to leave it in here for now, but remember, when you go to put this together, you're going to want to take that speaker pod out and put it in separately. All right, and we're going to come over here and flip our switch. I'll turn it on first. Whoops. Turn it on. Come over here and flip our switch with your finger. Now it's off, so if I hit power, you know, nothing's happening. So we're good there. All right, and that's basically how you operate this saber. There's a lot to it. One of the most, you know, one of the more complex sabers that I've dealt with as far as getting into it just to turn it on, you know, but they are pretty sweet. I'm going to tighten these back down. Few turns. So this is the one that we just tested, right? So I'm going to bring this one in. I'm going to set this one off to the side. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're just going to come over here. We're going to open up our pommel. Pull those two long screws out, pull off our pommel. We see our speaker pod. Go ahead and pull our speaker pod out, put it off to the side. It's the same exact speaker, the same slant in the speaker pod area, exactly the same, all right? Exactly the same setup in here as well. Both of these sabers have the config file on the SD card. Even though I did it identical for both, I didn't want you having to guess which one had it and which didn't, so I put a copy of the config file on both sabers. Okay, and they both have the same sound font. So we'll come over here and we'll flip the switch up for on, hit power. You see your LEDs lighting up there, and we can twist it and it's off, right? Now we'll go back and we'll put this on. Remember that square right there, line that up with that little nub right there, put that in. Come over here and slap our pommel on. Just take your time with it. Like I said, it's a tight fit, but it's meant to be that way. It'll go on. Put those two long ones in. There we go. Lock her down. Lock this one down too. Come over here and hit power. Auxiliary. Now remember this, no twist off here. You got a smooth swing. Back of the saber, horizontal, twist off. Works just fine. One thing I forgot to show you on the other saber that they both have is they have a soundtrack. So if you want to play that, it's a long press on the power when the saber's off. Right, and another long press to turn it off. Just like that. Now, if you had multiple fonts on here and you wanted to go to the next font, you would just tap auxiliary. Apologize. So, the apologize font, that's mine. So, anyway, power again. You gotta go flash on flash. 7/8 blade for this one as well, with your blade retention in the same spot, right? So we'll just hold it in there for now. Turn it on. All the way to the tip. And we'll turn that off as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go off camera. I'll take this pommel off. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it now to say that I showed everything. So we'll break this down the same way. It's a bit redundant, but at least you saw it done on both sabers, so you know everything is exactly the same. So we'll take our screws out here. Take our pommel off with the speaker pod in it, that's fine. Come over here and we'll turn it on. All right, flip our switch down for off. No more lighting. So if I come over here and I hit power right here, no power, okay? And that is basically your set of Ventress sabers from Punk Sabers and CC Sabers. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be leaving on vacation tomorrow, but my wife will be bringing these to the post office for me first thing Monday morning. Thank you.